Hi everyone, Jessica here from Stitching Colours and welcome back to another update. Today is the 19th of October and it's been a while since I've been here, but as you can see I have not yet moved. I will give some further details at the end, but in the meantime I figured I would show you the progress that I've achieved over the last month and then we'll come back to what else has been happening. It's been pretty chaotic, but we're getting there now. So I have worked on 8 pieces over the last month. Some of them have got quite a bit of progress. Others have got a decent amount. So I've been pretty happy. Although I have also been very busy. So it's just been the way things have been. So to start off with, the first piece in my little pile here is Little Helpers. So this is a pain-free craft piece based on the artwork by Anne Stokes, and this one is stitched on 25 count 1/1 using the kit fabric and threads that I got from Pain-Free Crafts. So this piece got 2,107 stitches on it, and you should have seen where you saw it last time. Hi Lance. Hey. And here is where it's at now. So I finished. Last time I think you saw it, it had finished this top row of pages, but since then I've finished this first page on the second row of pages. So that is all finished, and it's really amazing how the bauble looks. It looks really cool with all the light. So I'm really happy with that one. My book's trying to fall out of off my knees. So the next one I have, much further down on my list, but that's okay. It's the order that I pulled them out of the bags. So the next one I have is a Heaven and Earth Designs piece. This is based on the artwork by Jan Patrick Krasny, and this is Wizard Septimus. So this got quite a bit of progress. So this got 3,634 stitches, and this one is also stitched on 25 count 1/1 using CXC thread, and I've been really happy with how that's coming along. So you should have already seen where you saw it last time and what it will look like at the end, but here is where it's at now. Can I do that? Is it still in camera? That. So as you will see, I've gotten the first page on the second row of pages done on this one as well. So that's really exciting. So this one was mainly background, so nothing hugely exciting other than it's got a few more of the sky with the stars in it and things like that. But the next page is really going to see the wizard's staff in it, which is going to be really exciting because you can see the startings of that go down here. So I'm really excited for that, but I knew it was going to happen at one point. So I'm really excited to get some more progress on this one as well, and I'm really happy with how it progressed. So yeah. Okay, the next piece. This one did not get as much progress, but that's okay. This one is my Autumn Dragon, and This one is also a Heaven and Earth Designs piece based on the artwork by Sheena Pike. So this is a retired pattern from Heaven and Earth, but I believe it is available through another company now. I just can't quite remember who it is. So this one got 1909 stitches, and this one is stitched on 25 count 1/1 using DMC, and you should have already seen where you saw it last time, but here is where we're at now. So where I focused on was mainly getting this, there was this really weird little gap of stitching in the middle here from when I was changing my stitching methods around a bit. So I got that all finished off, and you can see the start of this second horn, which should match that one later on, and a little bit on this leaf over here. I also stitched in a few of the little parked threads from when I started in the middle of the piece, but nothing major there. It's mainly just getting some more up here finished and stitched in, which was looking really cool. Okay, now the next one I have is this one, which has gotten quite a lot of progress on it. So the next one again is another Heaven and Earth Designs piece. This is Dragon Race Into the Night, and it is a retired chart based on the artwork by Rose Khan. It is now available through Pain Free Crafts. It's been recharted, and from what I've seen, it looks really cool. I guess, you know, if you're still looking for that piece, then that is a viable option. So this one got 5,086 stitches on it, so quite a bit of progress. And this one is also stitched on 25 count 1/1 using DMC. And again, this is the Heaven and Earth Designs version, in case there's any confusion. So here is where it's at. So as a closer up look, from where you saw it last time, I was still working on this tree. Now where you can see, I have moved over. You can see there's this new dragon here, and this is part of one of the big dragons that's in the background. So this dragon here covers about 4 or 5 pages, and that is a page finish, so that is really exciting. I really just wanted to continue and do that dragon, but I figured I would stick to the pages. Otherwise, I was going to end up with heaps of background and sky at the end. I have to say though, I absolutely love how that dragon has come along to start with. So yeah, it's amazing what 5,000 stitches can do in a piece. So it's really exciting to see it coming along and getting a bit more progress on it again. I would love to get some heaps of progress on it. Pretty much like all my pieces. This one is nearly at 20% now. So that is really exciting. Okay, we will finish with that one at the end. So we've got these three. There's 3 of them. Okay. The next one I have is Deep Ocean. This is another Heaven and Earth Designs piece based on the artwork by Milos Karanovic. And this one I'm working on it on 28 count 1/1 and using DMC. So this one got 2,529 stitches on it. You should have seen where you saw it last time and what it will look like at the end. This is the selector size version, not the full version, but it is still pretty big. And I'm really happy with how this one's coming along. I don't think it shows up on camera other than being navy, but here's where it's at. So you can see I've done quite a bit. This is the entirety of the first page and then onwards from there. It still doesn't really show up as more than just a big navy block, but there are other colours in it. There are others. There's black, there's 823 along with 939 and 3 something. I can't remember which one it is. There's quite a few of them. It's not all just 939, despite how it looks. So it's just one of those things. And so yeah, this one got 2,529 stitches on it. So I'm really happy with the progress. I just wish I was getting into a bit more of the exciting bits, but that will come with time. So yeah. Okay, I've got 3 more pieces in total to show you. And then I will give you an update of other things that have been happening. So the next piece I have is the New Zealand flag. So this is the Quaker Tile New Zealand flag by Vivsters, and this one I'm stitching over 2 on 32 count using Silks for You threads, and it's stitched on just a plain white even weave. As you can see, Luna's being noisy. Okay, so this one got 1,922 stitches on it, so a pretty good chunk of it, and I am pretty happy with where it got to. So you should have already seen where you saw it last time, but it's kind of gotten a little bit crinkled being folded, but that's okay. Here is where it's at now. So you will see that I've now finished the top bit of the Union Jack, so that is really exciting, and I'm really happy with how this one's coming along. Getting to about this point was my goal for the year, so I may come back to it again, I may not. It just depends on what's happening. So from the last time when you saw it, I have filled in the red, this grey, and the red down here to make the top half of that Union Jack, which is in the corner of the New Zealand flag. So I'm really happy with how it's coming along, and I'm exceptionally happy that I decided to square it off and actually make it a flag shape. Please ignore all of the wrinkles. It is just how it has been sitting in the bag. So yeah. The other thing you may or may not have noticed, I have started a little bit of the grey down here from the bottom of the Union Jack, which is, well, the bottom half of it, I guess. Yeah. So again, I may or may not work on this one again this year. This was my goal to get to. Okay, 2 left. And then some other things. Okay, so the next one I have is Mini Heart of the Storm, which is another Heaven and Earth Designs piece. This is based on the artwork by Lisa Parker, and this one is stitched on 25 count 1/1 using the kit threads that I got from Heaven and Earth Designs. And this one got 3,265 stitches on it. So I was really excited to get a page finish and a bit more progress in this one. So this one is hopefully going to get a bit more stitching on it before the end of the year, because then it'll just put it in a little bit better of a position to hopefully get a finish on this one next year. It's going to probably still be about 30,000 on it next year, but it will be possible to get a finish next year on it, if all goes well. So you should have already seen where you saw it last time and what it's going to look like in the end, but here is where it's at now. So from where you saw it last time, I have finished off this middle page on this row and done quite a significant amount of stitching on this other section. There are still quite a few gaps in these wings, but they're looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. So I am looking forward to getting some more progress and coming back to that one as well. It's just going to be a matter of timing and how much time I end up with. Okay, and I have one last piece that honestly has gotten more progress on it than any other piece that I've got. And that is the Haid sale. So part of the Haid sale is you get the other 9 patterns that were available for choice if you get the 4 full pages completed. And those pages include, for the one that I'm doing, which is the Fox, the fairy tale one based on Cairo Marachetti's artwork, those pages are 1, 2, 3 and 5. So you may have seen from last time I cropped off a little bit at the right hand side, which I think it was about 13, 20 stitches, something like that. And because that was never a full page anyway, so I got that finished, and then I'm pretty close to having the page 5 finished now. But I've also decided to crop a little bit off the bottom. So there's a leaf at the bottom that I'm going, does it really need it? It's just kind of draws your eye to it more than it should. So I've kind of cropped that off the bottom as well. That is in the partial row of pages below the second row of pages. So it's not going to affect the finish to get all of the other 9 patterns, but also it would in theory mean that I can't go into the drawer if I was going to finish the piece to get the 2 free patterns that you can get from Haid if you finish the entire thing in this year. From what I've heard, there is a second sale being run next year. Further details are supposed to come out at the start of November, so keep an eye out on the Haid website and the Facebook page for more details on that if you are interested in joining the sale next year. I don't have any details on how they're going to do it or anything like that yet, so it's going to be interesting. Anyway, here is what I've been working on. So this piece got 6,727 stitches on it. So I've finished off what I'm doing with the top half, and this is the second row of pages, and the a little bit on the third row of pages, which I am going to stitch. So where I've got stitching to at the bottom here, that is the bottom of what I'm going to be stitching. So it's like a block past, no, it's like a, yeah, it's about a 10 rows below where the bottom of the page, the second row of pages is. So here's where I've gotten to. So as you can see, I've got about 400 stitches left to finish this page off, and that will be as far as I need to get this year to get the rest of the 9 patterns from Heaven and Earth that were part of the stitch along. And that excludes the Rainbow Dragon because that was retired mid-sale as part of that big set of retiring patterns. I was really happy this one got so much progress. I mean, I've gotten all of that finished as far as it's going. So I will just be filling in this other section next year, possibly. We'll see how it gets on. But yeah, so that is all my stitching, and I've got a few other things to update you on. But if you're just here for the stitching, I will say thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. I'm not 100% sure on when I will do another update. Things have been a bit chaotic and have not quite gone to plan with the moving, so I'm not 100% sure. So if you are disappearing now and you want to see my next update, just make sure that you've got the notifications turned on, and you should get that through once I do another update. For everyone else, it's been a little bit chaotic. I've got my keys to my new rental property, which is very exciting. Unfortunately, I received those on the 3rd of October, and that was right before we had rather extensive flooding here in Dunedin, and that meant that we received 2.5 times our usual rainfall for the month of October in 48 hours. So that was, from what I've been told, or what I've been able to determine, they're saying it's 180 milliliters of rain that we received. So it's quite extensive. But that only includes the portions that we were under the heavy rain warning for, not the rain that we had before and have had since then as well. So it's a little bit complicated to actually get the full details and descriptions. All I can say is it was a lot of rain. They were prepared for it because the heavy rain warnings came in a few days beforehand, so we did know it was on the way, but it wasn't quite what I was anticipating. It was a lot heavier and a lot more of it, but the council and, or I should say the regional council and the city council and other contractors that they engage were really good for leading up to that rainfall, in that they ensured all of the drains and for the stormwater were all cleared and everything like that. So it did mean that flooding was kept to a minimum where possible. Unfortunately, there were still 40 odd roads and streets closed due to that flooding, and that included every way in and out of Dunedin. So that was interesting. It was quite extensive rainfall just associated with a slow moving weather system, nothing to do with hurricane or anything like that. So it did mean it was just the rain, not huge winds or anything like that. But when you look at the ratios, if 180 millimeters fell over that 48 hours, it works out to every square metre of Dunedin receiving 180 litres of rainfall, which is quite extensive, and I can understand why our drainage system struggled to do it. I was quite safe where I was. I had road closures on 3 sides of me and one pathway I could have used to evacuate if needed. So that was a little bit scary. It was a very late night for a couple of nights, but that's just the way it is. And I had gotten to a point on, it was the Thursday night, and then it was about 11:30, 12 o'clock, so early Friday morning, when I decided, okay, high tide is meant to hit at 5 o'clock or 5:30. So I figured I would go to sleep and stop watching the rain and worrying about flooding until for a couple of hours at least, and then I could, have another look and double check how things were going. So I was just asleep, and then my phone gave the Civil Defence Emergency Alert. Let me tell you, it's not a quiet alarm, and it's not pleasant. So that meant that Dunedin had been declared in a state of emergency, and it just allowed them to put into specific protocols in place. That state of emergency stayed until the Monday, so it was all weekend. Luckily, the rainfall stopped, and once it stopped, all of the drainage systems and the pumping stations and things like that were all able to deal with the flooding pretty quickly, in that most of the roads were all opened up again on Saturday evening. I was not one of those people that left the house. I didn't leave until Sunday, and it was because I had to for work. But I was luckily in a position on the Friday that I could work from home and watch the rain. Not that it was all that useful, it was just more that I could watch out for any flooding or anything like that and plan for evacuations if needed. So it was a fun weekend, and unfortunately I'd gotten my keys to my new rental just days before. So yeah, the start of the week after that wasn't great, because in addition to contractors clearing any slips and things like that out of the way, there was a large amount of insurance claims that started coming through for work, which we are one of the contractors for. So that was fun. We ended up very busy. There are still upwards of there's going to be hundreds more claims yet. From what I've seen or heard, there has been over 1,000 insurance claims made. So that is quite extensive. From what I've heard also, on the night of the Friday during the rainstorm, there was 150 phone calls at least made to one of the flood cleaning companies because they had flooding. There were several streets that were flooded up to their knees in water. So yeah, it mainly affected South Dunedin, which I kind of live in that area. It's nice flat land. It's also reclaimed land, and it's pretty much at sea level, so that kind of doesn't help. But yeah, so both my current residence and my new rental property were safe from the flooding, so I decided to hold off on doing any moving in until the weekend after, and went to go start moving in. The power should have been turned on the 4th of October, but something happened and it wasn't turned on, so that made things more complicated last weekend. And because there's a electric garage door, I was going, okay, I can back up, open the door and unload the car and do a few car loads and get things out that I don't need until after moving. Unfortunately, because the power was off, that would not work, so it meant quite a few delays and things like that. And then I called the power company on Tuesday and got that all sorted. Of course, there were a few electrical issues that I identified once I got the power turned on, things that couldn't have been done in the pre-checks for the rental property. From my understanding, the previous tenant passed away a few months ago, and the property has been vacant since then. They were just searching for the right tenants, but yeah, it meant there's a couple of a few power sockets that don't work in the laundry, which is a problem. The garage door opener doesn't seem to actually be connected to the door. The motor hums away and doesn't do a thing, and the dimmer switch in the lounge for the lights is broken and was just sitting in place. So that was unfortunate. So they've got an electrician coming to fix those things, but it does mean moving is a little bit more complicated with the garage door still until that point. Of course, there was a little mishap in checking all the light switches and everything like that. I found a light switch in the lounge and I was going, okay, doesn't do anything, right? Must be a light somewhere, and like an external light in the little courtyard or something like that I just couldn't see. And I went, okay, we'll flick it off then, we're all good to go. I got a message from the landlord the next day saying that one of the neighbours complained that there was a light running, an external light that was shining right into their house or one of their windows, and it was disrupting their sleep. Oops. How to annoy your neighbours without even moving in. Whoops. So I went on a bit of a scavenger hunt that afternoon and found that light switch. So yeah, that was fun. I haven't had much of a chance to do much moving in since then. It's just been really busy with work. We've got another irons audit coming up this coming week, so we've got a few things to sort out before then. And yeah, it's been busy and chaotic, and yeah. All I can say is that normally Moving Hub does a really good job on sorting out, switching over electricity, internet and everything. It just hasn't quite gone to plan this time. I don't know what happened. Something in their system just hasn't worked properly, and that is why I'm having all these issues. And it was quite funny because I came home last night after work and did not have internet. So they've gone, and despite the phone call I heard earlier this week where they were going, oh yeah, for some reason it said that you're moving as of the 18th of October. that's not happening quite yet. I am in the process. It's just one of those things. It meant that, their lovely system had decided, despite all the notes saying not to carry through with the turning off of internet and that it would turn off the internet. So luckily I got that all sorted before their closing hours last night, but it was fun. It was just what I needed after a long day, because we had one of our guys from another branch coming in down and doing some occupational hygiene work, and he had brought down everything he needed, except once he was here, it was 10:30 Thursday night, he was working on doing his pre-calibration testing for the next morning, and discovered that one of his monitoring pumps was not working. So that was fun. He needed it 7:15 on Friday morning, so it meant I left at 6:45 to go to the office, then go to the site to drop that off to him. I already had my trainee planned to go meet him there to join him for the testing, get some training, see some additional types of testing. Unfortunately, I knew, who is going to see a message at 10:30 at night, So yeah, she wouldn't have seen it until she was on her way to the site. So it's just one of those things. It was a bad day and a long day, but it's just the way things are. So yeah, I can't believe we are mid-October, so Christmas is coming very quickly, and yeah, I really need to move on with moving and things like that. It's just a long process. Made more difficult with Luna. She's tried to play escape artist a few times, so oops. We'll get there, but yeah. I've got quite a bit of my cross-stitching stuff moved, but it's the storage units that I need to take apart and then go plan and put them back together, and I need to get the furniture book to be moved and then arrange for the carpets to be cleaned. So I've got a bit still to do and a fair bit of stuff still to move and things like that. It's just a hard one when I am working as well. I need to book some annual leave off, I think. It'll make my life 10 times easier. Because with all this insurance work, we've been going here, there and everywhere. Flooding is not just contained to Dunedin. We've had jobs an hour and a half south of Dunedin. We've had them 45 minutes north of Dunedin. Nothing inland yet. We'll see. But anyway, thank you for joining me, and I hope everyone is doing well and is safe, especially as things have been not so good over in Florida with the hurricanes and things like that. So I hope everyone's all safe and well and staying dry where you can. And I will see you all at some point. You will see me again before the end of the year. I'm just not 100% sure when or what's going to happen. So thank you for joining me, and I hope you find some time to get some stitching in. Alright, bye!